So food grade, a lot of the components that we use in an engine oil, for argument's sake, or typical industrial applications, a lot of those additives are hazardous, and we need to handle them in a very careful and specific way when we blend in an engine oil and those kind of products. And that's fine when we are handling a lubricant for a machine environment. But when we're talking about food and we're talking about incidental contact or direct contact with food that we're going to ingest, they're very specific requirements. So there are various grades. Typically, people will understand the NSF grading structure, which is really broken up into three categories. So you've got your H1, which is your incidental contact, where that's where you're using a lubricant in a machine or in an area that's in close contact with food, but it's not direct contact. Then you'll have your H2, where there's no contact that's allowed. And your H3, where there's direct contact. So depending on the level of potential contamination with food, there are various requirements and different levels of requirements that are allowable. And that comes from the base oil. So what kind of fluid are we using? Your white oils, your PAOs or your esters that are typically used in food grade lubricants. And really, we're not wanting contaminations. We're not wanting trace levels of contaminations down at a ppm level that can potentially affect us as humans if there is cross contamination into a lubricant. So there's specifications that have been put together that you need to register your lubricant with the authorities if it is going to be used in a food grade application. And typically the NSF or the White Book will list those additives and components. So we can't use certain technologies, heavy metals, and certain metals, ash forming content, etc., that we would use in a normal lubricant. We can't use those in food grade contact products. Then, of course, the lubricant needs to be manufactured in a plant that is certified and registered as a food grade plant. And that's to ensure that there isn't any cross contamination from a potential hazardous product into the food grade lubricant. So really the volumes of lubricant and additives that are going into the sector, although very important, is relatively small. So the technology is not that wide because we can't use all the additive components that are going in. And it's very specific and clear in terms of the route that is going. I do see from time to time a number of people wanting to get into the food grade sector because the margins are higher. So as lube manufacturers or lube marketers, the margins for the lube grade lubricants is quite lucrative because the selling prices are a bit higher. But that's because of the cost of the additives and the complexity in the manufacturing and the supply chain.